This is great. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Julio Jones' reaction to Dak stepping out is crazy. Reed Blankenship stepping up as a leader on this defense. Jalen Carter getting high praise from Zach Martin. We also talk about the mid-season awards given to 3 Eagles by Pat McAfee. Plus, Micah Parsons talking about Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation. And last but not least, could the Eagles sign Jason Pierre-Paul for some depth? What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today, as always, we got a lot to get into. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, can I ask y'all for a favor? Help your boy out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and turn on that notification bell. Notification gang, stand up, drop the muscle emoji in the comment section if you got nothing to say. Let's get into it. So an article was written by the Liberty Line, shout out to Victor Williams and what he does over there, about JPP as a possible option for the Philadelphia Eagles because Jason Pierre-Paul remains on the open market, and according to reports, he's willing to join a contender on their practice squad. Let me know in the comment section, would you like to sign the veteran pass rusher? In the article, they talked about the Linval Joseph, Ndamukong Suh signings. That was more due to injury. We do got Derek Barnett as a healthy scratch. However, I would like to see Nolan Smith get on the field. He has 1 sack this year against the Miami Dolphins. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I think he'll be able to help down the line as he gets his NFL feet ready. But how do you feel about Jason Pierre-Paul? At the end of the day, we don't need a pass rusher, but you never know. In this long season called the NFL, where a veteran pass rusher might come in handy, and he's probably cheap, and he said it himself. He's willing to join a contender even on the practice squad. Staying with the defense, one of the biggest reasons why we don't need an edge rusher not named Nolan Smith is because the starters are balling. Josh Sweat with 50 pressures on the season, tied for first. Hassan Reddick with 43 pressures, tied for 5th. When you add that up, do the math, that's 93 pressures in 9 weeks of football. Talk about chaos. Not to mention Brandon Graham, who ages like fine wine in the rotation. And when you look back at that Cowboys game, that might have been the biggest play of the game, pushing Dak Prescott out on a hustle play. Listen to what A.J. Brown and the wide receivers were saying about Dallas. They were laughing.
Just before he crosses the byline.
He did.
I got him. I got him.
A.J. Brown with the I got him, dapping it up with Julio Jones. But do you see our guy Devontae Smith's face? The left one was the face in Dallas. The right one is another face. The many faces of Devontae Smith. He got to be the most non-intentional funny dude that I know, especially on the Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of people in the comment section on Twitter were talking about that SpongeBob face, similar to what Devontae Smith did. Staying with some funny things that happened during the Eagles-Cowboys game, A.J. Brown was spotted yelling at Josh Sweat to get your ass back on the field after that big-time sack. Listen.
Josh Sweat gets home and there's no timeouts.
Get your ass back.
You gotta love it, right? A.J. Brown not celebrating the sack, just worrying about finishing the job. It did come too close for comfort on my liking, and I know y'all's as well. Let's move over to the defensive side real quick and talk about Jalen Carter's snaps versus the Cowboys. Last Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, Jalen Carter logged 51 snaps and was double-teamed often by the Dallas Cowboys. 51 snaps gotta be the most he's played thus far in his NFL career. Don't quote me on it. I just think that gotta be his most, and I can only see it going up from there. The dude is a beast for real. Listen what Zach Martin, a Hall of Famer, he's a Cowboy, but he's a Hall of Famer, said about this man.
Man, keep going, man. You're gonna be special. It's an honor to be special. Great job. Stay healthy, all right?
The first thing he said is, how the bleep did the Philadelphia Eagles get you? Because the rest of the NFL is dumb. And he also said, man, you are special and you're going to be special. Keep it up and stay healthy. That's all we can ask for as Philadelphia Eagle fans. Every player stay healthy. Speaking about health, I'm still having nightmares of this play. Again, I lost my train of thought when I was watching this game live with you guys when Jalen Hurts barely could get up and limped off the field. And again, I know Jalen Hurts, you know Jalen Hurts, and he has that Goku, that Super Saiyan power in him. This is why the bye week was so crucial. Yes, Dallas Goedert got hurt. We'll get Bradley Roby back. But at the end of the day, this Eagles team goes as far as Jalen Hurts, and we need him to recuperate for sure, like Goku did. Now, we talked about the 3 Eagles offensive players that are in the top 5 of their position. Jalen Hurts, top 5 passer. A.J. Brown, top 5 wide receiver in yards. And DeAndre Swift, top 5 rusher in yards. If you didn't see it, go back and check that video. It should pop up at the end. But at the end of the day, we heard some big words from Pat McAfee on this show. Him and his boys picked the awards for Defensive Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and MVP thus far through 9 games, halfway through the season with 18 weeks. And guess who all 3 were? Eagles. First one we're going to talk about is Coach of the Year. They said Nick Sirianni with his 8-1 record after losing his OC and DC, right? Runner-up is Dan Campbell with a 6-2 record for the Lions. DeMeco Ryan for the Texans, being a pretty darn solid coach as a rookie. And the Vikings coach, don't remember his name, but they said he got a quarterback on Wednesday and one on Sunday. Moving on over to the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and y'all already know who that was going to be. Everybody believes it. Jalen Carter with 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. He got a lot of pressures already, man. He's doing big things, and he missed a game. Runner-up, Devin Witherspoon with 9 PBUs, 1 interception, 39 tackles, 2 sacks, and a return for a touchdown. Next, we got Brian Branch with 33 tackles, 4 pass breakups, an interception, and a touchdown. And last, we got Will Anderson with 30 tackles and 2 sacks. Still, none of them hold a candle to Jalen Carter. And last but not least, they decide the MVP of the league thus far, and guess who that is? Jalen Hurts with an 8-1 record, 15 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 2,347 passing yards with 316 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. Some people act like rushing touchdowns don't count, but that's 22 touchdowns in 9 games. Runner-up, they got 7-2 record, Pat Mahomes with 17 touchdowns passing, 8 interceptions, 2442 passing yards and 258 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson with a 7-2 record, 9 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,954 passing yards with 440 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. And last but not least, Tua Tagovailoa with a 6-3 record, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 2,609 passing yards. These guys know football. And we got Micah Parsons on this podcast talking about Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation.
I think that Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation. If you're looking at numbers, what he's able to do, his efficiency and things like that, Dak Prescott is playing at elite level. I think he needs to be talked about more, not less, and not in a downwards way. He is playing at elite level. And we should open our eyes. Open your eyes, people. Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation. And I think he will prove that leading out to the end of this year, and winning some big games and leading us to the playoffs.
Now, before we get out of here, I do want to touch on 2 things on the defense, right? At the end of the day, the Eagles are 8-1, but I think Sean Desai in the last 2 games, he has to call the game better. But looking at the D-line, it's still playing as good, if not better, than last year. In their first 9 games last season, the Eagles had 29 sacks. Through the first 9 games this season, the Eagles have 30 sacks. Now, I know they came on very strong at the end of last season. We'll see how we fare throughout this last 9 games. But at the end of the day, 30 sacks in 9 games is pretty good, and we're up there with the creme de la creme of pass rush. And again, if the back end can just clean it up, stay healthy, and get on their P's and Q's, especially with Bradley Roby coming back, right? That's big. He is going to help out because the slot is getting torched. All that being said, the defense plays a little bit better defense on the back end, and the front end's going to even attack more. Well, let's look at Reed Blankenship, right? I told you that Washington game was bad, but besides that, he's been a good cover safety. The narrative is that he's not that good, but Reed Blankenship has the 3rd highest coverage grade out of all safeties with an 87.5. He leads all safeties in pass breakups with 6, and he got 2 picks, plus he missed 2 games. So don't let people tell you that he's been bad. Yes, against the Washington Commanders, he got cooked a lot. It was 1 game. and listen to him as a leader on the sidelines and before the game.
That noise, man. We here for a reason. It's our house. It's a run. Hey, next play. You good. Hey, next play. Hey, look at me. Hey, Eli. Hey, have fun, man.
Before the game, in the huddle, hyping up the whole defense. This is our house. Bleep that noise. We here for a bleeping reason. Gotta love that. And then Eli probably got cooked because he's been getting cooked a little bit too much in the slot. But Reed Blankenship like, bro, relax. Forget that. You got to move on. Eli, you got to move on, right? He heard it from Kevin Byard a couple weeks ago when he was getting cooked to Washington. And now he's the one spewing it, right? Again, Reed Blankenship is young. But I can see there's a foundation there, and I think he's the safety of the future, and he's only going to get better, right? He got that underdog, Philadelphia, blue-collar, lunch pail in the hand type energy, and you got to love that. With all that being said, drop the muscle emoji in the comment section for your boy Philly Mike. Help me out by doing one major thing, actually a couple major things. Hit the like button, right? Subscribe if you haven't already. Double check. And turn on notifications. Check that too. You might think you have the notification bell hit, but sometimes YouTube just unnotify you for no reason. They don't notify you before they unnotify you. So do all that for your boy. Let me know your thoughts. Drop the muscle emoji. I already said that. Woo, long night last night. Get some merch, Philly Dog hats, Philly Dog shirts. And listen, I know the Philly Dog movement is real, but that air hurts. This is just the beginning right there. Link will be in the description in the comment section. Y'all know what time it is. We out.